So, for parents that are looking for alternatives to a public system, they've identified some of the issues with the system. My encouragement would be to look back to the scriptures. The scriptures say to train up a child in the way they should go. That becomes so essential to the Christian life. We're to be consecrated or set apart. And to be a holy people consecrated to God means to be separate from what the world offers. And it's becoming more obvious that what the world offers is counter-Christian, but that doesn't mean that we are any less responsible for raising our own children. So for any parent that thinks, what do I do? What are some of my options? I would say, first and foremost, as a parent, understand that the primary responsibility for raising a kid is your responsibility. God gave that responsibility to the parents, not to the school district, not to the state, not to the country. So when you're training up a child in the way that they should go, take that on as your responsibility. And I think most parents understand that and they get that. So what are some of your options, especially if you don't have an affordable Christian school in town, if you don't have the time to homeschool on your own? Part of what we're doing at Portals is we're trying to make it possible for you to partner with other parents or even to do it on your own, but be able to get that prep work done in a reasonable amount of time. We're trying to be a support so that you have options.
You know, a lot of people do see the problems with government schools, but they do not feel equipped, ready. They don't feel like they have the time, money, or energy to try to find anything different. So it is, I think some of the challenges are equipping teachers, finding places, selecting materials, and really defining the goals. And that can be an overwhelming task, to be sure.
So if you're asking, can I really do this? The answer is yes, you really can. The basic core requirement of any educator is that they know the child and they care about that child's future. Everything else we can help you with. So I'm worried if they're going to get the right content. Well, we'll put out the scope and sequence for you. I'm worried if they're going to get that content in an understandable way. We'll help you find curriculum. I'm worried that I'm going to not stay on pace. Well, we'll provide lesson plans that'll keep you on pace. I'm worried if my kid's going to get into college. Well, frankly, if you're homeschooling or doing anything other than government schools, most college admissions offices are just happy to accept your child. Learning a work ethic, learning how to show up on time, learning how to be faithful in your readings, those are the key elements of success in any environment, including college. So learning those as part of your system is going to be a benefit in all those senses. If you're worried about can I do this or not, the answer is yes, you can do it, but maybe you need someone to tell you that for a while.
I think what a lot of communities, a lot of educators, a lot of parents underestimate is how much they know and how much their love and support and passion for raising their kids is what their kids really need. You don't need to be an expert in any of these fields. You just have to show your kids what it looks like to problem solve, to persevere, to really grow as a human being and trust God with it all. And if you demonstrate that by taking this leap for your children in your community, your kids are going to be just fine. God's going to take care of you and you're going to model that for the kids, and that's what they need to learn.
I love one of my favorite stories when it comes to starting a school. One of my favorite stories is the story of Isaac. It's like one chapter in Genesis, and the story of Isaac really focuses in on one of God's people constantly having things taken and destroyed by the Philistines. And Isaac's response to that is to just go dig another well. And this is the history of God's people, or at least a part of the history of God's people, is when the enemy comes and just corrupts and takes over things and ruins them, God's people just go build a new thing. We have a source of ever-flowing living water that we can draw from to build things. So God's people, when they put their mind to it, are pretty good at building things. So when it comes to starting your own school, I love the idea of just saying we're going to dig our own well. And as Joshua said, as for me and my family, we're going to follow the Lord. And that's how we're going to do it. So the primary foundation of starting your school is that you've prayed about it and God's leading you to do it. That you have kids that need the support and education that you're going to offer them. And then after that, I just call Portals. Like, we'll help you do it. We want to be able to, everything from a private Christian school to a homeschool to even a micro school, which is a community of parents working together. We want to be there and help support to do that. So for most of the school startups that we have coming into Portals, we actually have you talk with some of our people to actually say, what are your needs? What do you need to do? It certainly helps if you have a church that has rooms you can use during the week versus going empty all week. you can work with your church community. Because when you take care of the cost of facility and you have volunteer parents, there's very little left when it comes to the cost of portals. And when it comes to starting the school, first step is to pray about it. And if you feel like God's calling you to do that, you simply step out in faith. Starting a school is not hard. First, you need kids, and then you need adults that want those kids to learn. Facilities are nice, but not necessary. You can operate out of a mold-free basement. You can operate in a church facility. You can operate in a garage or a warehouse. You need a clean, safe place for people to learn. So if you have the adults and you have the building, the only thing that's left is you need the lesson plans. You need the content and the curriculum to fill it with. So especially with church communities, if you have the facilities sitting there all week and you have loving adults that want to work with those children, we'll provide the lesson plans. Like, we can start a school tomorrow. There's incredible value in learning in a community. So one of the drawbacks of homeschooling is sometimes parents feel isolated. One of the upsides of a micro school or a co-op or groups of homeschool parents that work together, or even a church gathering together and building a community of parents that are raising their kids together, is A, you can share the responsibility of time, but B, you can share the values. Your kids get to see that there's other families that are pursuing Christ just like your family is. Essentially, our goal is yours, to dig a new well, to start something new, and the advantage as believers is we have living water to draw from. We're able to raise our kids, we want to raise our kids, and it's time to work hard and play hard. And to do that in such a way that it's actually inviting to non-believers. We would love it if a church started a portal school and it became the best school in the community. And we want to give you every tool to do that.